free the Time Alarm Clock telephone with special features like snooze alarm and automatic redial. This offer won't last long, so call now.
This is the USA Network.
Jefferson Brown. His name was Jefferson Brown.
But who was he? I mean, how was Jefferson Brown connected with your father?
He worked for him. He was my father's trusted assistant, I believe the phrase is. That was the worst mistake my father ever made, trusting him.
But how do you know it's true? That Jefferson Brown stole those mysterious secret documents instead of your father?
If I had proof, I wouldn't be here, and my father would still be alive.
So you don't have proof? You're just guessing?
It's unassailable logic. There were only two people who worked in that particular office of the State Department who had access to those documents. My father and his assistant. My father did not take those documents. That leaves the assistant.
Then why wasn't he arrested?
Mr. Brown was very clever in making it look as though Fowler Wilcox had taken the documents. And now he's made it even more difficult to prove my father's innocence. He died.
Come on, Price, it's time to get it together.
What?
You said you wanted to get up at 9 o'clock. It's 5 after now.
I need about 10 more minutes, okay?
Hey, you all right?
Yeah, I'm all right. Will you answer something for me? What was Jefferson Brown really like?
Well, there's a kind of a peculiar question for first thing in the morning, isn't it?
Is it? I mean, you knew Jefferson Brown most of your life, but I didn't know him.
Jeff or Sky. You know me.
Yeah, but I mean, what were you like before you met Schuyler Whitney? I should say before you came Schuyler Whitney, but I don't know what you were like.
Hey, listen, sweetheart, I've got some calls to make. Why don't we talk about this downstairs, okay?
Oh, God. Could it be true?
Ooh, it's much too chilly to be out here.
I don't even feel the cold. I guess I don't feel much of anything these days.
Well, you're gonna feel something when you come down with double pneumonia. Come on inside.
You know, I remember the last time I was out on this terrace. I was thinking exactly the same thing. That Gavin was down there somewhere. But now I'm not really sure that he is.
Well, let's think about something else. What do you want for breakfast? Don't you dare say nothing. I'm gonna take you and toss you to the pigeons. Jody, don't do that.
I'm never gonna see him again.
That is not true.
If only Sky's watch had turned out to be the right one, Gavin would have given himself in. He promised me he would.
Honey, he may still keep that promise. You don't know what he's feeling.
I know he thinks that he's the only one responsible for Gunther's death. That he thinks he's gonna have to pay full penalty.
Nobody pays full penalty in cases of self-defense, and I'm sure we're going to be able to prove that.
We can't be sure of that. Nobody can, least of all Gavin. That is exactly why he is running. That's why he's gonna keep on running.
Well, you're going to feel better if you have some breakfast. Please, let me tell Mrs. Goodman that you're ready. I know I am.
I'll go get Miles.
Miles isn't even here. He left the house at 7:30 this morning. Look, all he had was coffee.
Did he go to the hospital?
Yeah, he wanted to be there when that new patient of his was discharged.
Is that the one I keep hearing about? The actress with the funny name?
Yes, that's the one we keep hearing about.
I'm so glad that you were able to be here before I left. I wanted to apologize to you
For what?
for the way I treated you. I gave you a really hard time, didn't I?
Oh, listen, I've had patients treat me worse.
Patients like me, to whom you've pronounced the death sentence.
I said no such thing. There's no certainty, Jinx.
Dr. Kavanaugh, is that why you came here this morning? To say things that you don't mean?
I came here just so that you would know that life on the outside goes on, and that you can get out of here and lead a perfectly normal life.
Until it's over.
Isn't that what we all try to do, lead a happy, normal life until it's over?
Well, it is true about me, what you said, that I wouldn't have any bad symptoms, that there'd be no pain, and I wouldn't pass out on the street.
Not even in the middle of a stage.
Do you think I'll ever get back on the stage?
Why not?
Well, Doctor, you see, people like long-running hits. I'm a limited engagement.
Well, now, what are you planning to do? You're going to put your illness on your resume?
No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to tell anyone. And wouldn't that be horrible if people knew?
Well, they probably wouldn't even recognize the name of the disease.
Well, I'm not going to say anything. And neither are you.
I don't think anybody's going to ask me.
Well, I don't know. You might let it slip out. Word might get around, and if you did that, well, that'd really be the end of
Now,
me.
look, Jinx, in certain situations, doctors feel they have to tell family or close relatives, but almost always, the will and the wish of the patient is paramount.
Well, I have no family, no close relatives, and the wish of this patient is for you to keep your handsome mouth shut.
And that is what I will do.
Promise? On your Hippocratic oath?
I promise. What do you plan to do with the next few days, few weeks?
I don't know, really.
You know, if you went back to work, you...
Ah, yeah, work, of course. Well, work is the best medicine. I mean, that's a place you can go and hide your troubles. But see, there's one problem, Doctor. In my profession, it's not very easy to find work.
No, I realize that.
Well, in fact, one can spend their entire life just looking for a good role. And in my case, well, I know one thing.
What's that?
I'd better stop postponing things. I'd better stop making all those plans like I used to. What I'd better do is to do all those things now that I was going to save for later. I mean, I'm not going to have a later.
Well, there's another thing you must do. You must keep in touch with me,
Oh,
all right?
no,
You,
no,
yes,
no.
I want to set up a schedule of appointments. Really, at least call me once in a while. I want to know how you're doing. You're still my patient, right?
Well, this patient, Doctor, has run out of patience. I can't afford to be patient anymore. If there are things out there in this world that I want, well, I'll just have to go out there and take them. Thanks.
I'm awfully proud of my wife. How pretty, how natural she is. Look at her hair. Shiny and healthy looking. Not fancy, just fabulous.
Ivory shampoo and Ivory conditioner don't have lots of fancy ingredients your hair doesn't need. Ivory cleans gently and conditions gently. Not fancy. It's Ivory.
I love the way her hair looks. Shiny and natural as all outdoors. Not fancy, just fabulous.
Now there's a new addition to Ivory Hair Care. New Ivory Extra Body for Fine Hair Shampoo and Conditioner. Lots of body for beautifully manageable hair. Fabulous body. Extra Body for Fine Hair from Ivory.
Feel the lather on your skin. What a nice way to begin. And the scent is cool and brisk. No one does it quite like this. Coast works as hard as you. Coast works as hard as you. Picks you up and pulls you through. It pulls you through.
Isn't it time you move to a soap that can pick you up and pull you through?
Coast works as hard as you. Works as hard as you.
Ever look at people on an elevator and see a terrific smile? I thought I had that smile. Then Gleam showed me there's white. And there's white. See, besides fighting cavities, only Gleam's got a special cleaner, Calcium P. Lab tests prove it gets teeth whiter than any gel, any polish, any leading fluoride toothpaste in just one little 5-ounce tube. Think you've got an elevator smile? Try brushing with Gleam. Then you could know white from white.
Hello, Miss Bryson.
Detective Tyler, hello.
Hey, don't look so apprehensive. This is not police business.
Oh, well, if you'd like a portrait,
Actually, what I'd really like at the moment is a picture of a man who calls himself Jim Diedrichson.
Jim? Well, who told you about him?
Well, it just happened to pop up in a conversation that I was having with Calvin.
And let me guess, there was a third party there. Kelly McGrath?
Yes, it was.
Well, Detective, is, Jim wanted by the police?
As far as I know, he isn't.
So this is just, personal curiosity?
Yes. I dropped by your apartment last night to talk to you about it, but you were out.
Yes, I was out, as a matter of fact, with, Jim.
Oh, really? Well, you must know more about this guy than Kelly realized.
Well, I know a lot more about him than the first time we met, that's for sure.
Well, Kelly seems to think that there's some question about this man's true identity.
You mean about whether or not he is really Jim Diedrichson?
Well, you must admit that you have fewer means of identifying him than most people.
Well, it's true. I didn't know his face, but I certainly didn't take any fingerprints. It's Jim. I'm almost sure of it.
Look, did he show you any identification?
Well, yes, as a matter of fact. He showed me his driver's license, credit card.
Well, look, those could be fakes. I mean, it's been more than a month since that story appeared about you in the Monticello News. You had a lot of time.
I doubt it.
Well, okay, look, maybe the guy's name really is James Diedrichson. That's not an uncommon name. I mean, maybe that's why he was attracted to your story in the first place.
He knows far too much about me, about us, to be a fraud. Take my word for it.
There were a lot of details published in that story.
Not every detail. Little things like his favorite poem.
Okay, what about his voice?
Altered by the managers, so it sounds somewhat different. He's still the man that I knew 3 years ago in Switzerland.
Miss Bryson, look, I know that this is none of my business, but I can't help but wonder. I mean, you've been so anxious to see this friend of yours again. Are you sure you're not fooling yourself?
Well, you're right, Detective. It is none of your business. And because it's also not police business, I hope you don't mind if I get back to my own business.
Okay. I'm sorry to have bothered you. By the way, Raven Whitney also dropped by your place last night. I think she did want to talk to you about business. You might want to give her a call.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Yeah, but that sure gives me an appetite, Loretta.
Come on. I bet my Crisco cooking will fix that up.
Fried chicken, my favorite.
Well, dig in. Crisco's what makes it so golden brown and delicious. Because it fries up chicken crisp as a country morning.
Real crunchy.
And no greasy taste, either. And Crisco has no cholesterol. How come no one's dancing?
Because we're all too busy eating.
Crisco will do you proud every time.
This is the one movie that's leaving all of the others in its tracks.
Are you telling me that you built a time machine out of a DeLorean?
Go back to the magic.
It works!
Back to the action.
Whoa, this is heavy.
Back to the past.
It's an absolute dream.
Take it for yourself.
Back to the future. Michael J. Fox. Christopher Lloyd. Steven Spielberg presents Back to the Future, a Robert Zemeckis film. Rated PG, now in select theaters. Check newspapers.
In an hour or two, these streets will be teeming with people, all going after the same thing, the American dream of success. But while there are millions of men and women chasing the American dream, there's only so much of it to go around, which is why you should subscribe to the Wall Street Journal. Each business day, the Journal gives you a real competitive advantage with comprehensive news coverage, analysis, ideas you can put to excellent use in your work, and business information you won't find anywhere else. Of course, you don't have to subscribe to the Journal, but in a very short time, these streets will be filled with people who do.
Call 800-527-9800 for this new Journal offer. 13 weeks for just $28 with a money-back guarantee. 13 weeks, $28. Phone 800-527-9800 now for the Wall Street Journal.
Hi. Can I come in?
Yeah, come on in.
How are you today?
I'm, fine.
Are you sure? You seem a little upset.
No, I'm just thinking about this shot. Contrary to popular belief, there's a lot more that goes into taking pictures than just snapping shutters.
Oh, I'm sure.
I am the worst faker. Jim, I am upset about something, and it has to do with you.
Oh, I was afraid of that. Okay. Go ahead, let me have it. What did I do?
It's nothing you did.
Well, let me guess. You've been thinking about all this, and about what we talked about last night at dinner, and how hard it is to bring the past into your present.
That was your theme song last night, not mine.
Well, you joined the chorus.
I didn't. I simply said that it was difficult because of the years in between and the things that happen to people.
Like other people.
Yes, and it's other people who have upset me because, Jim, you have to realize that there are people in this town who are going to resent you.
What? A lovable guy like me?
Yes. It's very well for you to be a character in a romantic story, but now that you're a reality.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Sometimes reality spoils things. Sometimes they're left better off unsubstantial. That's what I wanted to do, is just remain a memory.
Do you still feel that way?
Too late for that now.
Well, there are also people who are going to doubt you. Who aren't going to believe you are who you say you are.
Well, I don't care about those people. I just care about what you believe. What's the matter?
Nothing.
I was just going to put my arms around you.
I know.
Well, you let me hold you last night and kiss you.
Well, that was just sort of a mutual impulse, wasn't it?
A regrettable one?
No, I didn't say that. Jim, I don't know how to deal with you. I don't know how to think about you. I don't know how to feel about you.
My theme song was right. 3 years is a long time. Especially when people have only been together for less than 3 months.
I'm not sure I knew you then. Jim, you've got to understand, I just need more time to get to know you.
I do. I understand that you don't think you know me anymore. But give me a chance. You will. And pretty soon you'll get to recognize this face as well as, say, Kelly McGrath's, for instance.
Well, I spoke to Calvin and Damien down at police headquarters. They said their hands were really tied since it wasn't a police matter.
Well, it could be, Kelly. If this Jim Dietrichson has designs on Valerie's money and is using a fraudulent identity?
Oh, well, now, we don't know if either of those assumptions is right. Take my word for it, Valerie is not a wealthy young woman.
But she could be soon.
Kelly, Valerie and I have talked quite a lot about Jim Dietrichson.
Thank you.
And she spoke to me quite openly about her feelings towards him. She said that her feelings then were really not love.
Just a romantic fantasy, is that it?
Well, the circumstances were certainly romantic. Something out of a storybook, my goodness. A wounded war hero and the doctor's daughter.
That had to make an impression on an 18-year-old still in school.
Yeah, but it's the impression that he can make on her right now that worries me. I mean, even coming back into her life is a romantic fantasy.
But we don't even know if the real Jim Diedrichson has come back into her life. That still has to be determined.
And that's for Valerie to do. Surely there have got to be some things that he may or may not recall from those months in the clinic.
Kelly, why don't you ask Valerie to put him to the test?
A test?
Yeah.
That is a good idea. We can come up with a list of things that she can ask him.
We?
Well, if I were to approach her with the idea, she might think I was being just plain jealous, which is part of it.
All right, Kelly. We'll cooperate.
Yeah, why don't you ask her to come over for dinner sometime soon?
Is tonight too soon?
Morning, Mrs. Whitney. Chrissy, could you come here for a second?
Yes, ma'am?
Why are you dressed differently today?
Different, ma'am?
Yes, your dress is different.
Yes, it is different. Mr. Whitney didn't like the old uniform. He thought it was too old-fashioned or something.
But I bought the old uniform. Who bought this one?
I did, ma'am.
Where did you get it? Some cheap Hollywood catalog?
Hi, Chris.
Hi, Mr. Whitney.
Say, Raven, what's this all about anyway? Why all this sudden interest in what kind of a person Jeff Brown was?
Well, I ran into Damien Tyler last night.
Oh, I imagine it was more like he ran into you. He seems to enjoy these little encounters.
We were both going to visit Valerie Bryson, and she wasn't there, so we went out for a drink.
You went out drinking with him?
Oh, he wanted to talk about his father.
His father? Well, I told you he doesn't think much of his father. He doesn't use his name. And I told you why.
Yes. You told me it was because he was accused of stealing government documents. Damien said the same thing, and he was also very upset because people think his father is a traitor.
Well, I'm sure that Fowler Wilcox had no political motivation. He was just a sadly demented man, badly in need of money. He decided to try and steal the first thing of value he could get his hands on.
Skylar, Damien thinks that you, Jefferson Brown, stole those documents.
Do you believe that?
Of course not. How could I possibly believe a thing like that?
That's right, Raven. How could you?
Well, I wanted to talk to you about it last night, but you weren't here until late.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. I was out selling missiles to the Russians.
Don't joke about it.
Look, Raven, Tyler is someone who's psychotically obsessed by what happened with his father. He can't accept the truth, so he's got to make up his own truth. And since Jeff Brown was the only other person working in the office, Jeff Brown has got to be the scapegoat. Don't you see that?
I guess.
His father committed suicide, Raven. Now, why would he do that unless he was guilty?
Well, it seems logical.
And if I had anything to do with it, why is it that no one else accused me but Damien Tyler? Don't you see that?
So you're innocent. You didn't do it, huh?
Look at me, Raven. Tell me what you see.
Scoundrel, an imposter, and the man I love.
In just a minute, you're going to find out how you can get this terrific alarm clock telephone absolutely free. So stay where you are, then I'll be right back to tell you more.
When you read Time each week, you know more. You understand.
Time flies and you are there. Time cries and lets you care. You understand the world we share.
Now Time is offering you more than ever. Order Time right now, and you'll get this terrific alarm clock and push-button telephone in one, free with your paid subscription.
Yes, time brings you closer to living. Time puts events in sharp review. Time brings it all right home to you.
Each week, Time takes you beyond the news to show you how fascinating the world really is. And now you can get Time for almost half off the cover price. Call 1-800-221-6900 and get 30 issues of Time, payable in 4 easy installments of just $7.49 each. Order now, and you'll also get Time's combination alarm clock telephone, absolutely free. This handsome space saver comes complete with snooze bar and automatic redial. Perfect for your desk or bedside. So call 1-800-221-6900 right now.
To ask your
a short-lived time puts it all right in your hands. Resign and understand.
Hi, I'm Jenny, an operator here at Time. Remember, if you call right now, we'll send you Time at almost half off the cover price. And you'll also get free the Time alarm clock telephone with special features like snooze alarm and automatic redial. This offer won't last long, so call now.
I'm sorry I had to miss Jody. It's just that I had to leave so early this morning.
That's okay. We were both wondering how things were going with that new patient of yours. Has she left the hospital yet?
Yeah, she checked out about a half an hour ago. Don't know if I'll ever see her again.
Well, why not if she's so ill?
Well, she's determined to put the illness right out of her mind. She's had her fill of doctors and hospitals. I can't say I blame her.
Oh, but you're not happy she feels that way.
Of course, I'm not happy. I'd much rather keep track of her.
I'm sure the bride will be thrilled with your selection, madam. And that little package for you will be ready shortly.
Thank you.
May I assist you, ma'am?
Oh, yes. I would like to look at those bracelets.
Certainly, ma'am. Of course, all of our designs are exclusive. Each is one of a kind.
And how much is this one?
Let me see. These tags are so tiny. That is $5,600.
Oh, it's lovely, isn't it? So unusual.
Yes, there's not another one like it in the world.
And this one, how much is this one? I'm sorry.
Don't worry. Let me see, there it is. This one is 9,000 even.
Well, I can't really make up my mind. I like them both so much. You know what I'll have to do? I'll have to bring my husband in here with me because he always forces me to make up my mind. But thank you very much.
Very good, ma'am. Miss?
I'm sorry,
ma'am.
but I'm in an awful hurry. I don't have much time. You wouldn't even believe it.
Leonard, detain that lady. I am very sorry, ma'am, but I can't allow you to leave with our property.
Or call 800-USA. Here's wishing you and yours a warm and wonderful new year from the USA Network.
Have to have one of each.
I haven't read that one as yet, Raven.
Sorry.
Don't tell me that's a recipe.
Are you mad? They're ads for fur coats.
I might have known. Why in the world are you so fidgety this afternoon? You're nervous as a cat.
Well, it's my nature.
No comment. Where's Skylar?
Skylar went to see Derek Mallory on a useless errand.
What errand?
He is registering a complaint against Damien Tyler.
What sort of complaint?
He feels that Damien is persecuting him needlessly.
For heaven's sake. Damien Tyler seems like a perfectly pleasant, courteous young man to me.
Well, you're prejudiced in his favor because you once knew his father. You didn't meet Damien until recently, did you?
No.
You know, Fowler Wilcox's assistant, Jefferson Brown, did you ever meet him?
Not that I recall, no.
Tell me something, Geraldine. Do you think that Fowler Wilcox really stole those government documents?
No, for heaven's sake, how should I know? I'm simply not acquainted with the facts of that case. But if it's an emotional response you're asking for, no. I most certainly do not believe it.
All right, I've got no doubt you've already got a long list of complaints against Tyler, and that mine is just one more in a growing pile.
All right, Wiki, you've been blowing off steam now for the past 5 minutes, and I still don't know what the hell you're complaining about. What is your beef against Tyler?
First, he victimized Martine Duval. He followed her around like a bloodhound for some weird reason known only to himself. Now he is bothering my wife. Now, I am giving you and him fair warning. Either you control that sick puppy or you find him a kennel.
All right, you've made your point. But unless you have some specific charge against Tyler, let me suggest you keep your innuendos in check where they belong. In the meantime, I'll speak to him personally, see what I can do. That's all I'll promise you. Yes?
Excuse me, Chief. I have that suspect you wanted to see.
Yes, all right. I'll see him in a minute. As you can see, I have other demands on my time.
Yeah, in the service of law and order, no doubt. Well, start in your own backyard, Mallory.
Thank you. Here we go. Miss Avery, the arresting officer tells me that you will speak to one person alone. Is that correct?
That's right. Dr. Miles Kavanaugh.
Would you care to sit down?
Do I have to?
No.
Then I will.
Miss Avery.
I've been told you are the chief of police.
Correct.
Since I've explained to everyone that I'll only speak to Dr. Kavanaugh, perhaps you could explain to me what I'm doing here.
I've asked to see you. Dr. Kavanaugh is a personal friend of mine, as well as an associate of this department.
An associate?
He's a consultant on forensic medicine.
You mean he does autopsies?
Yes, sometimes.
How fitting.
Excuse me?
Nothing.
May I ask why you insist on speaking to Dr. Kavanaugh?
That's between us. I don't care to discuss anything with anybody else. I thought I'd made that clear.
Are you a patient of his?
Yes, I am.
I see. Miss Avery, are you kleptomaniacal?
I beg your pardon?
Kleptomaniac. Is it going to be your contention that you stole that bracelet from the jewelry store out of some sort of compulsion?
How clever you are. No wonder you're the chief.
Then it's true?
Yes. It was an uncontrollable impulse. I saw it right there, and then I just had to take it.
I see.
I can't be locked up if I'm ill, can I?
The law is lenient with people who steal because they can't help themselves. Kleptomania is recognized as a legitimate illness.
Well, then.
But let me be perfectly frank with you. In my career, I've seen maybe a dozen kleptos. And not a single one of them has ever stolen anything quite as valuable as a bracelet worth $5,000.
Well, I must have expensive taste. I guess you might call it another one of my compulsions.
It's Dr. Kavanaugh treating you for this condition?
I'm not going to say anything more until he gets here.
Well, then may I suggest that you may need a lawyer as much as a doctor. Is there somebody you'd like to contact?
No, I've already told you. Dr. Kavanaugh and nobody else.
I've got to have some background information on this story. Would you call it the newspaper, Morgan? Get names, dates, places, etc. You'll find information starting around 1977.
All right, Mrs. Kavanaugh. And what about the story on Senator Westby?
No, I've got to hold off on that for a little bit until I get a confirmation. Excuse me. Jody? What's the matter? Are you okay?
Did you see this story?
Which one?
The one on the closing of the Whitney Dance Company.
Yes, I did. God, what a shame. After so much talent and energy and money right out the window. After such a great beginning,
All
too.
those dancers out of work, that's what worries me.
Well, I guess Sky Whitney just couldn't see his way clear to keep it open after losing 2 of his principal dancers, one right after the other.
Cute. Very cute. But you and I both know that I could have never been a principal dancer for that company.
Of course you could have. It was just circumstances.
Yeah, thanks, but I know better. Anyway, it doesn't look like there's going to be any jobs for any dancers in Monticello. Not that it matters to me. My dancing enthusiasm is just about dead. I could bury my dancing shoes and never think about it again.
That is only temporary, I'm sure.
No, it isn't. I mean it. The day that Gavin disappeared, all my ambition did, too.
Kavanaugh residence.
Oh, hello, Nora. This is Dr. Kavanaugh. May I speak to my wife, please?
One moment, Doctor. It's your husband, Mrs. Kavanaugh.
Good. Thank you. Hi, darling. How are you?
I'm fine, sweetheart, but I am on the run at the moment.
Oh?
Yeah, just a slight complication. I will preface it with an apology.
Oh, dear. Now what?
Well, I won't be able to pick you up at home for that early dinner we had planned. I have to see a patient.
Where? At the hospital or at your office?
Neither. Have to go to police headquarters.
You have to see a live patient at police headquarters?
That's right.
Isn't that a little irregular? Well, who is he?
Not he. She. It's Jinx Avery.
Jinx Avery, that's the actress. What on earth is she doing at police headquarters?
I'm not sure yet. She seems to be in trouble with the law, and apparently she asked to see me. Derek tells me that she refuses to make a statement until I arrive.
Well, if you hold the key, Dr. Kavanaugh, I guess you have to go.
It's just one of those things. Again. Look, I know you understand.
Oh, sure, honey, I understand. It's just, you know, one of those things.
If you're confident up north, raise your hand. If you're confident in Dixie, raise your hand. If you're sure from east to west, sure is one you love the best, raise your hand if you're sure.
From the bleachers to the Met, Sure goes on feeling dry, not wet, and helps keep you feeling dry and confident all day, anywhere.
Confident, dry and secure. Raise your hand if you're sure.
Crisco Oil's light taste brings remarkable lightness to stir-frying.
Remarkably light, delightfully light. Crisco Oil's light taste sets the flavor free.
Next to corn oil, specially made Crisco Oil looks lighter, is lighter, but it's really Crisco's light taste that brings out the true flavor of stir-frying with no greasy taste.
Crisco Oil's light taste sets the flavor free.
Now available in the new 64-ounce drip-free bottle.
Can you help oily skin? I wash and the oil's back. Any hope for a grease pot?
More than hope.
Diane Belago, skincare consultant.
Here's Came's Oily Skin Formula, the only leading beauty bar with cosmetic clay to absorb oil and help control shine for hours. Look, fresh, beautiful skin, hour after hour. Normal, dry, or oily. Came's personalized care for beautiful skin.
Hi, I'm Nancy Dussault.
And I'm Mike Jarek. Now, would you bail your child out of jail if they got into major trouble? On the next Alive and Well, we'll talk about tough love. And tough love is a controversial way to handle your kids when they get into trouble.
Also, we're going to continue our discussions on heart problems and talk to two men who have survived major operations.
We'll see you next time for Alive and Well. You be with us.
At 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific, tomorrow on USA.
No, honey, that's okay. You go ahead and meet Miss Avery, and then I'll meet you at the restaurant. I'll get dressed now and be there in about an hour so that I can get a table, because it's always so crowded. Okay. Bye-bye. Oh, Nora, I'm going to be leaving for dinner in about an hour, so why don't you just finish that up and go on home yourself?
Well, there's nothing much I can do here anyway. I think I'll leave too, yeah.
Oh, and just leave all these cups. Mrs. Goodman will clean them up.
I will get that. Hello? Oh, hi, Calvin. It's for me. Gavin, where are you? Are you all right?
I'm at the bus station, Jody. I spent the night here.
Bus station? That's awful. That place is too public. Honey, you've got to get out of there.
I almost did. I have a ticket for Los Angeles in my pocket, but I started to get on that bus, and suddenly I couldn't do it. I realized I just couldn't put that many miles between us, Jody. Not now. I don't care what happens. I just know that I have to see you and talk to you one more time.
Just tell me where to meet you, and I'll be there. And, listen, buy one more ticket, okay? Because I'm going with you.
These are the amazing Lee press-on nails. They press on in seconds. No glue, no mess. Simply press on Lee Super Stick tabs. Then press on Lee press-on nails. That's all. Easy on, easy off. Use them again and again. They just won't break or split. Polish, and they're nearly impossible to chip. So press on Lee press-on nails. In natural and glamour lengths and a variety of sizes for a quick, easy fit. Press on.
So soft towel. Jump in. Sweet smelling sheets. Jump. No cling to most anything. Jump, 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 jump. Bounce for clothes you can't wait to jump into. Jump. Come on in. Jump in. Feel the touch. Jump. You are the one. You feel so good around me. Jump, 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 jump. Bounce for clothes you can't wait to jump into. Jump.
I'm Charles Schwab. Over 1 million investors who make their own investment decisions trade with us. Here are a few reasons why.
Sorry to keep you waiting, Nick. Had to phone my broker.
Your broker? It's 9 p.m.
Right. Well, I can place an order anytime. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You see, my broker's Charles Schwab.
Oh, hold it, Dave. Isn't Schwab a discount broker?
Sure. Schwab saves me as much as 70% on commissions.
And you can place an order 24 hours a day?
Yeah, any day of the week. My order will be at the stock exchange when the market opens tomorrow. Well, we're making our presentation.
Well, the service and discounts sound great. Maybe it's time for me to give Schwab a call.
For a free booklet on how you can save up to 76% on brokerage commissions, call 800-826-2700, toll free. That's 800-826-2700. Charles Schwab, a Bank America company. Member SIPC.
Dean, those must have been fabulous days in Washington.
Well, they were, really. Or at least I believe I thought so at the time. More realistically, I suppose those days were not any better or any worse than they are today. I go back to Washington on occasion just to hear the wheels of government turning. Those wheels are still a bit creaky, I'm afraid. But thank heavens, they're still turning just the same.
Well, you must have met some really fabulous people in Washington.
On occasion. And some not so fabulous.
Like Fowler Wilcox?
Well, I wouldn't put him in either category. As I said, I didn't know him very well. But I do remember him as a hard-working, dedicated civil servant. And a very nice man.
What is it exactly you remember most about him?
Not that much, really. It's hard to remember now. Those occasions when we were in his company. The social scene in Washington becomes a blur of cocktail parties, dinner parties, receptions, handshakes, faces. It's hard to distinguish after a while. Strange. However, I do remember Fowler Wilcox in a rather poignant situation and not a ceremonial one.
Oh, really? What was that?
Well, it happened right here in this house, as a matter of fact, at a dinner party I gave. Fowler Wilcox was invited, and he came alone without his wife. I can remember that I left the guests in the dining room for a few moments and went into the study for something or other. Then I saw one of the guests standing by the French windows. It was Fowler Wilcox. At first, I thought he had simply wanted to escape the noise and banter in the dining room, perhaps looking for momentary seclusion. He was half turned away from me, and suddenly, he put his face in his hands and began to weep. My first impulse was to go to him, but then I realized I was an intruder, witnessing a terribly private moment. I learned later that his wife was desperately ill. In any case, it was that heartbreaking moment that I remember most about Fowler Wilcox.
Well, that's very sad, but a grown man crying at a social event, that must have been very embarrassing.
On the contrary, it was very touching.
All the same, I think it's an indication that he was unstable. Don't you think? He must have been unstable.
The law in this town is like a private club, Spencer.
How is that, Mr. Whitney?
They all know each other. They all protect each other. It's like a tight little clique. That's what it is.
How so, sir?
You want to know the reason that Gavin Wiley hasn't been caught yet? It's because of a chain that links the chief of police to his friend, Dr. Kavanaugh, to his sister-in-law, young Jody Travis, to Mr. Wiley himself, who just so happens to be the young woman's lover. And as for this Damien Tyler...
What about him, Mr. Whitney?
Nothing.
I ran into Damien Tyler last night. He talked to me about his father. Sky, you told me that his father had stolen an important document, that he was the traitor. But Damien thinks that you, Jefferson Brown, was the guilty one.
Yes, Doctor. You did the right thing to call. Just tell her I'll be home as soon as possible. Oh, come in, Jeff.
Anything else I can do for you before I leave, Mr. Wilcox?
No. There was no necessity for you to stay this late, Jeff. Somehow I have to finish reading these reports from the Defense Department. I haven't gotten to them. I have to have them in my head by tomorrow morning.
Those reports are never-ending, aren't they?
No. These are particularly important. The President wants me in his office to discuss them first thing in the morning.
You certainly can't refuse that request.
It's not just a polite invitation. It's an order. I have to get home as quickly as possible.
Your wife, sir?
Yes. She's gotten worse, and I'm needed at home now. I have to go to her, Jeff. She's the most important thing in my life, and well, the Defense Department and the President will have to wait, that's all. It just can't be helped.
Why not take the papers with you?
That is all highly classified material. Not a page of it can leave this office. That's an unbreakable rule, Jeff. You should know that by now.
I'm sure it won't matter just this once.
Yeah.
They'll be as secure in your briefcase as they'd be in your safe, and no one will know a thing about it. But you?
And you?
You can trust me.
Well, perhaps. Just this once. All right, then, God help me, I will. Oh.
Here, Mr. Wilcox, let me help you with that.
Thank you. I'm too upset to think or function, I guess. Thanks, Jeff.
There we are, sir. Safe as can be. And don't worry.
Thank you, Jeff. Good night.
Good night, Mr. Wilcox.
was a nightmare. 22 people. I cooked all day. It was awful.
The food? The spots on my glasses. Even the silverware had spots.
Spots? Spots for 22 people. I felt like a unmade bed.
Nothing's worse than a dishwasher full of spotty dishes. That's why you need Cascade. Cascade sheeting action leaves dishes virtually spotless. And when they're virtually spotless,
I did it right this time. Cascade. Beautiful.
for virtually spotless dishes, nothing beats Cascade.
P.S. I love you.
Progresso Soup, I love you, for your minestrone.
I love you for your chicken noodle. The best tasting soup.
The side of my soup.
P.S. Progresso Soup, I love you.
Live, Grateful Dead. New Year's, 86. USA Network, you be sure and watch, or else.
It's a Grateful Dead New Year's Eve, 1986. Starting at 2:30 a.m. Eastern on USA tomorrow night. On the next Check It Out, bingo's the name of the game.
This could be somebody's ticket to sunny Greece.
But bad luck's in the cards for Howard.
They're identical. They all the same numbers.
I want you to tell me that you are not telling me that this store is sending 1,500 couples on a free trip to Greece. No, thank God. 3,000.
Join Don Adams for a laugh riot on Check It Out at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific on USA Wednesday.
Tatum O'Neal, Christy McNichol,
Do you care about me a little?
Matt Dillon, Little Darlings, a USA premiere event.
Tuesday, January 21st. Some of them have talent, some of them 5:30 Eastern on USA weekdays.
She's caught in the act, Miles. She wants to speak to you. She won't talk to anybody else, not even a lawyer, just her doctor, you.
All right, I'll see if I can handle it.
Good luck, amigo.
What took you so long?
What happened, Jinx?
I thought you'd never ask.
Now, look, I made a considerable effort to get here as fast as I could to try to bail you out of trouble. I would appreciate a straight answer.
Sorry.
Well, I repeat, what happened?
Well, nothing much, really.
Nothing much. You're sitting here at police headquarters charged with a serious crime. You tell me nothing much happened?
All right. I was just walking down the street, minding my own business, window shopping, really. And I went by a jewelry store and decided to go in. And there I saw it, an emerald and diamond bracelet. Suddenly I realized that I'd never owned anything so beautiful, and I thought, well, why not take it? I mean, what can they do to me, really? In my case, a life sentence would only be about 3 months, wouldn't you say? Anyway, I thought it was a practical way of looking at things. My big mistake was, I turned out to be a pretty poor crook. Well, just an amateur. So, you see, Dr. Kavanaugh, that's what I'm doing here.
Yes, and you seem to find it very amusing. Don't you realize you're in big trouble?
Well, how come? You came to bail me out.
And how do you expect me to do that?
All you have to do is tell the police that in your considered medical opinion, I'm suffering from an acute attack of kleptomania. I mean, I'm a classic case, wouldn't you say? And then I'm home free.
I can't do that, Jinx.
You mean to say that you'd let them put me in prison just because you're too chicken to tell them a tiny white lie? Could you just sit by and watch me spend my last days in a prison cell?
No, I'll try to make sure that doesn't happen, but I will tell them the truth, that there were mitigating circumstances.
Don't you dare do that. You swore to me that you wouldn't tell one person in this world that I don't have much time left. Not one. Now you have to promise to keep that promise. You have to.
All right. I won't tell them the truth. If you promise not to do anything crazy like this again. If you keep your promise, I'll keep mine.
You have to understand. I just have a little bit of time to get out of life what I want. Okay, I promise not to do it again. Besides, there are more important things I want anyway.